Every man wants to know the secret of attracting women. Most men make it harder than it is. Every day, I hear men complain about how complicated women are. The fact is that not all women are complicated, these men are just making a mountain out of a molehill. If you succeed in getting a lady that is attractive, that you are not compatible with, after a short while your relationship will be disastrous. So if you are searching for a serious relationship, a thorough filtering is expected. The right women are out there, but the right women are becoming scarce in today's world, so if you can find one of them, act fast, because every guy is looking for the right woman. Keep this in mind and keep your eyes open, she'll come your way faster than you expect. How do you know the right woman? The charmer. Charmers are usually snapped out of the dating market so fast, because she is an optimistic woman, comfortable with her life, always bubbly and fun to be around. She is an authentic person without any falsehood in her. She is appreciative, considerate and enjoys your company. If you can find one, you have got a real treasure in your hands, so do all you can to get her. Miss Equality. Miss Equality is a true feminist, not one of the radical man-haters, or the hypocritical pseudo-feminists who think that equality is an equal rights and an equal salary and that a man has to pay for them. This Miss Equality genuinely likes her man, and understands that equality means a 50-50 partnership in the relationship, and is more than willing to shoulder their half of the relationship and dating expenses just because it is the right thing to do. Miss Best Friend. Miss Best Friend is another joy to be around. She is the kind of woman you are totally in tune with, you like the same things, watch the same TV shows, and enjoy visiting the same places. You can spend 5 minutes with her and think you have known her for years. She is always on your side, laughs at your jokes, and calls you just to say hi because she genuinely misses you. She's great just to hang with. A word of warning, though, with Miss Best Friend, you have to make your sexual interest known from day one, because if she gets it into her head that you are going to be just friends, it's almost impossible to change her mind. Miss Frank. Miss Frank knows how to communicate. With Miss Frank, there are no games, no expecting men to be mind readers, no behavior based on ridiculous, female-biased advice from articles in Cosmo or The Rules. Miss Frank will pick up the phone and ask you out. She will do what she says she will do, not say one thing and do just the opposite. Although she may be blunt at times, at least you'll know where you stand and you'll never have to spend hours trying to decode contradictory or emotion-based female behavior. Miss Independent. Miss Independent is a good woman to find if you don't have a lot of time to invest in a relationship or you're the type of guy who needs a lot of space. Miss Independent has a real life of her own and is happily going in her own positive direction. She's the type who wants a man in her life, but doesn't need a man in her life. And she certainly isn't looking for men to solve all her problems or blame when things don't go her way. Miss Faithful. Miss Faithful never cheats on you or constantly be on the lookout for a better deal. When you go out, she won't be scanning the room for other guys, but will keep her attention focused on you, the man in her life. She's also more apt to stick around if times get tough. Miss No Pressure. Miss No Pressure has no hidden agenda about forcing your hand in marriage. She's happy just to be with you. So you don't get any "where is our relationship going?" or hint dropping about the future or window shopping at the jewelry store. She may want to get married at some point, but she's in no hurry. She thinks that if it happens, it will just happen naturally. Miss Secure. Miss Secure accepts herself as she is and is comfortable with her good points, as well as her bad. And she feels the same about you. Miss Secure doesn't need constant attention to shore up a sagging ego, has tons of self-esteem, and is always going in her own positive direction. Miss Personality. Miss Personality is a great find. She might not be up for first prize in a beauty contest, although she could be, but her intelligence, wit and sparkling presence just light up the room, and she draws people like a magnet. Her personality is so charming that it easily overcomes any deficiencies she might have in the looks department, just because she's so great to be with. Miss Low Maintenance. The rarest of the rare, Miss Low Maintenance is the most atypical of modern women. She really doesn't care about how much money you have, she just likes you for yourself and not for what she can take from you. She's likely to be a true feminist, and will gladly pay her share of the dating expenses. If you can find Miss Low Maintenance, hang on to her for dear life. What women want? Every man has been in this situation at some point in his life. Asking the simple question, what does she want from me? Every man should be able to answer this question before trying to woo a woman. First thing first, understand that there are different women with different psychological makeup and different wants in a relationship. But most women look for certain things in a relationship that will ensure happiness and success. A quick look at these points below will give you an insight into a woman's expectations. A woman needs satisfaction, mental satisfaction. This differs from person to person, physical satisfaction and emotional satisfaction. Remember that women are emotional creatures and they need lots of attention and love. A woman wants you to be willing to share your life with her and to let her be who she chooses to be. She does not want to be taken for a ride, and she hates to be dumped after a while. She hates men that are commitment phobic. A woman can't stand lies and infidelity in a relationship any more than a man does. Honesty and truthfulness from her partner will make her secure and relaxed. A partner who is a cheat will only ruin the relationship. A woman wants a man that knows how to keep the excitement and the flames of desire burning. She wants a man who is physical compatible. Every man has been in this situation at some point in his life. Asking the simple question, what does she want from me? The answer is simple. A woman wants time with you. She wants to know that you want to spend time with her, and she wants to know that you are thinking about her when you are with her. She wants your undivided attention. I came across a tale that might help you understand what a woman wants. A Knight's Tale. Young King Arthur was ambushed and imprisoned by the monarch of a neighboring kingdom. The monarch could have killed him but was moved by Arthur's youth and ideals. So, the monarch offered him his freedom, as long as he could answer a very difficult question. Arthur would have a year to figure out the answer, and, if after a year, he still had no answer, he would be put to death. The question: what do women really want? Such a question would perplex even the most knowledgeable man, and to young Arthur, it seemed an impossible query. But, since it was better than death, he accepted the monarch's proposition to have an answer by year's end. He returned to his kingdom and began to poll everyone, the princess, the priests, the wise men, and even the court jester. He spoke with everyone, but no one could give him a satisfactory answer. Many people advised him to consult the old witch, for only she would have the answer. But the price would be high, as the witch was famous throughout the kingdom for the exorbitant prices she charged. The last day of the year arrived, and Arthur had no choice but to talk to the witch. She agreed to answer the question, but he would have to agree to her price first. The old witch wanted to marry Sir Lancelot, the most noble of the Knights of the Round Table and Arthur's closest friend. Young Arthur was horrified. She was hunchbacked and hideous, had only one tooth, smelled like sewage, made obscene noises, etc. He had never encountered such a repugnant creature in all his life. He refused to force his friend to marry her and endure such a terrible burden, but Lancelot, learning of the proposal, spoke with Arthur. He said nothing was too big of a sacrifice compared to Arthur's life and the preservation of the Round Table. Hence, a wedding was proclaimed, and the witch answered Arthur's question thus: what a woman really wants, she answered, is to be in charge of her own life. Everyone in the kingdom instantly knew that the witch had uttered a great truth and that Arthur's life would be spared. And so it was, the neighboring monarch granted Arthur his freedom, and Lancelot and the witch had a wonderful wedding. The honeymoon hour approached, and Lancelot, steeling himself for a horrific experience, entered the bedroom. But, what a sight awaited him! The most beautiful woman he had ever seen lay before him on the bed. The astounded Lancelot asked what had happened. The beauty replied that since he had been so kind to her when she appeared as a witch, she would henceforth be her horrible deformed self only half the time, and the beautiful maiden the other half. Which would he prefer? Would he prefer a beautiful woman in the day or at night? Lancelot pondered the predicament. Would he prefer a beautiful woman to show off to his friends in the day but at night, in the privacy of his castle, an old witch? Or, would he prefer having a hideous witch during the day, but by night, a beautiful woman for him to enjoy wondrous intimate moments? What would you do? Noble Lancelot said that he would allow her to make the choice herself. Upon hearing this, she announced that she would be beautiful all the time because he had respected her enough to let her be in charge of her own life. Approaching her, the most important thing to keep in mind when approaching a woman is that first impressions are priceless and are established within the first 3 seconds after you introduce yourself. This means that there is no room for error, and you should also know that chatting up a lady is not like in the movies where you can just walk up to a girl and drop some cheesy one-liner, then they are in your bed the next morning. Don't use pick-up lines because they make the lady feel cheap and it destroys conversation. It's hard to think of what to say afterward. Instead, start with innocent small talk and you will have a base to build an interesting conversation on. A trick that never fails to work is to focus all your attention and energy of the creature before you and behave as if nothing else exists in the world. Focus on what the woman needs and not what you need. For instance, women are a creature of drama and will prefer a soap opera to a sport game. Be considerate, always show kindness and courteousness towards her. Open the car door for her, offer to drive her, and drive safely, so as not to frighten her. Always pay for the first date. Be punctual when picking her up. Be kind to waiters and cab drivers. Women appreciate a man who is respectful, as it says a lot about how he will treat her and whether or not he respects women in general. Pay attention to positive traits, features and character about her. It does not have to be complex, it may even be simply letting her know that you love the way she is dressed or her hair is styled. Tell her things like, "You have such beautiful smile." State your compliments by looking her straight in the eye. This emphasizes the sincerity of your compliments. Body compliments should be avoided in the initial stage of your interaction, but do compliment on her later and always in the relationship. Never compromise your morals. If the person you are interested in is not interested in you, then you should move on. Some people are very polite and you may not realize immediately that they aren't interested. But, given time, it should become apparent. In the meantime, take it slow, and even if you are head over heels, don't reveal this right away, at least until you are sure they are genuinely interested in you, too, or they could use your attraction to their benefit. Usually it is best to reveal one's feelings step by step, not much more nor much less than the other has revealed. However, people have very different ways for showing that they are or are not interested, so do not break up, or step it up, without talking things through as to where you're both headed. If you feel like you need time to decide, do not hesitate to talk. Never be forceful. If you ever pressure her to do something she doesn't feel comfortable doing, she won't be shy to say goodbye. Forcing her to do what she doesn't want to do is rude. Try to continue doing your normal routine, with them in mind, rather than changing your whole life around them. Hopefully they will want to have a relationship with you, not a clone of themselves or a tag along.